As we've seen in previous projects, we are able to copy and move data not only within a worksheet, between worksheets, and also between workbooks, but you can also copy, cut information from one program to another, for example from Excel into Word. And really the only reason that you might want to do that is if you want to take information, discuss it a little bit, or put it into a report, then you'd want to use some kind of word processing program such as Word to write your report out, your memo, your letter, and then take that information from Excel and put it into the letter, the memo, or the report. So in the last project we are going to look at how we can copy and link information between worksheets, also workbooks. We can do that as well. And then finally we are going to copy and paste information from Excel into Word. So beginning in project 4A, I've opened up DW Quarterly Expense Workbook and saved it as they've asked us to. And our steps in here are going to be to take cells from one worksheet and link them to another worksheet. And I've shown you this in the past when we were working with the checkbook. In the various months we took the ending balance and linked those to the previous month in the next worksheet. So it's the same concept. We'll just be doing that again in project 4A. And then we'll see that as we make changes, and again I've shown you this before too, but as you make changes in one worksheet, the information automatically updates and reflects changes to other cells that those have been linked to. So we'll try this again just kind of as a review in project 4A. Now you'll notice in this workbook we do have 4 different sheets. They've all been named appropriately, but they all have expenses for the various quarters. So pretty much they're set up the same. It's just the only thing that's changing are the subtitles there, the amounts and the quarters. So we're going to start in first of all by taking the budgeted amounts and linking those to cells in the other sheets. So I think you'll see that once we get going here. But they want to take C4 through C10. We're going to put that in copy mode, however you like to do that. Either, remember through the Home tab, copy, or right click in, or Control C, however you want to do that. That puts it in the copy mode. And then we're going to go to the second quarter, and in cell C4 where the budgeted amounts are, we're going to paste those. And I'm going to right click, and you'll notice the paste options. Remember all the different options here that we can choose from. We want to link those. So I'm going to click on the link option. And then we're still in the copy mode. Notice we still have, this is still selected here. We're going to go over to the third quarter, go through the same steps. I'm going to right click, link, go over to quarter 4, again right click and link again. As I go back to the first quarter, notice we still have floating marquees going around the original copy, so I'm going to press escape to get rid of that floating marquee. So as you'll notice in these various sheets, if I go to quarter 2, these are all linked back to quarter 1 sheet, and in the appropriate cells they're linked to each one of those. Every quarter has done that. It's gone back and linked to the first quarter sheet and the appropriate cells. Okay? Alright, now we want to place a formula in the variance area in all of the sheets. We need a formula in there that basically takes the budget minus the actual amount. So we've learned too that if we select multiple sheets, any formatting changes that we make or any formulas or functions that we insert will be applied to every sheet tab. So since these are all set up the same, every sheet has D4 through D10 that needs a formula, we're going to select the sheet tabs. So I'm clicking on the first one here, holding down the Shift key, and then clicking on the last one. Now don't click and drag, just click on the first one, hold down the Shift key, click on the last one, and that selects all of these. Now anything that we do, whether we put a header and footer in, whether we make a formatting change, whether we underline or whatever, or as we're getting ready to do, we're going to put in a formula, it will apply to every single sheet. So in cell D4 we're going to put in the formula that subtracts the actual amount from the budgeted amount. So I'm going to start out with an equal sign, click on the budgeted cell, click on or type in minus from the keyboard, and then B4. Press enter, and then I'm going to go ahead and autofill that down. Okay, so every cell has the formula in there relative to whatever row it's in. And again, if I go to quarter 2, quarter 3, 4, they all have the formulas in there that will take budgeted minus the actual amount. Now, what's cool about this is, oh wait, we got to format this. These should be the same. This format should carry over. So the first line is the accounting format or the accounting number format. So again, every sheet should be formatted the same. So I need to select those sheet tabs again. Clicking on the first one, holding down the shift key, clicking on the last one. Then I'm going to go to the cell that I want to change, and it's the accounting number format. So now it's added the $sign to the beginning of that in every sheet. Okay? Great way of being able to format globally. Okay, now we're going to make some changes here. Let's go back to the first quarter, which we're already there. In C4, we're going to make a change to the budgeted amount. Rather than 126, they want that to be 128. Notice immediately, press enter here, that changes the variance for quarter 1, but it's also going to update and make the changes. 128's changed in every sheet because we had linked that to C4 in quarter 1. Same thing C5. Let's say they've made a change to that 54.5, they want it to be 56,000. And again, since that cell is linked to every one of the other quarters, it automatically updates it for us. Let's go back quarter 1. Cell C9 for payroll taxes, they want the budgeted amount to be increased to 2,400. And again, that'll be changed in every sheet because we've got them linked. All right. Then the last project in Chapter 5, Project 4B, shows us how we can take information from Excel and place it into Word. And they're going to have us actually link the data to Word. And the cool thing about this is if this were truly a budget and you were creating a report for employees in your company, you want that report to be updated monthly. So as the user, whoever's maintaining the Excel workbook, makes changes, it'll automatically update in the monthly report. So what we're going to do, again, we're just going to continue to use this same workbook. I'm going to also open up Word. Hopefully I can get it fit appropriately. Okay, so I have Word open. I'm going to click on that. Actually, they want us to save this, so let me go ahead and save just so that we know what's going on here. Keep it all consistent. They want us to name this pretty similar to what we named the workbook. So EL Chapter 5, Project 4. Okay, but this is going to be a Word document, so we can name it the same as our Excel file, but it's a Word document. That's why we can have the same name. So go ahead and click on that. Then I'm going to minimize Word for just a minute. I'm not closing it, I'm just minimizing it, and it'll appear on the taskbar so that I can get to it quickly. And I know you can't see that in the demonstration, but when you're using it at home, you will have it on your taskbar when you minimize it. Now what we're going to do is from the quarter 1 information sheet, we're going to take cells A2, which includes first quarter, down through D10, and we're going to copy this into that Word document. Okay, and I can see I've done this incorrectly, so I'm going to back up just a minute. This particular document, they had a Word document created for us, so I apologize for that. I'm going to close out of this, and we'll open it up in Word. So I'm going to find it again in our student data files, which I should have known they already had that. I can just get to it here. And you know what? I need to go through it a different way. Well, no, we're good. I've not opened up Word yet, okay? I've just gone out to my documents and gone to my folder, the Chapter 5 folder for Level 1. And by doing that, then I'm able to see whatever files are in that folder. I'll be able to see Excel files. If there were PowerPoint files or database files, those would all be listed and I could see them pretty quickly. And I'm able to see the Word file that they're describing here, the DW quarterly report. So I'm going to double click on that to open it. This will not only open Word, but it also opens a file called DW quarterly report. And I think you can see that. But you can see now they've already got a heading in there, quarterly expenses. They've got information already set up for us, which is helpful. So now I'm going to minimize that. And I know they had you saving this under the name EL1C5. I'm not going to do that again. Okay, we'll just minimize it. And I'm back in Excel again, selecting the information that we want to put in that report. So I've selected it. We need to put it in the copy mode. Okay, that sends it out to the clipboard. Then I'm going to open up Word again. This is my report that we just opened. And we're going to go below the heading. And I'm going to go ahead, we're going to, again, we're going to paste this the first time through. So let's go to the paste button. And we're going to paste it as an object. They want it as an object, as a picture. And I think when you do that, many times it comes in a little bit cleaner and more concise. So we'll click on that and then press enter a couple of times. But that's the information that we just pulled from Excel. Okay. Now, you could do that for each quarter. They want us to go back to Excel and go to I'm going to press escape, and they want us to go to each quarter and pull that in, copying and pasting. And we're going to do that, but I wanted to show you too how you could copy and link, as I described earlier. If the person maintaining this on a quarterly basis makes a change, then in that report we want it to automatically update. The current method that we just used, if a user makes a change, let me show you this. Notice the 122 for actual. If we go back to the workbook and I change that to 145, okay, we've made the change there for quarter 1. When we go into Word, that is not updated, okay, because it's not connected in any way. We didn't link it. The next process that I want to take us through is to link it, and in that way when we make a change in Excel, it automatically updates it here. Now granted, there are going to be times when you don't want changes to be made to your report. You want this to stay static, and if people are using their Excel workbook and making changes to it, you don't want it to change your Word file. But there are other times when you do, we'll just describe it here, we do want it to update and keep it current in our reports. So let's go back to Excel. I'm going to press undo to get back the 122. Okay. Now we're going to go through the same steps. Let's go to quarter 2. And let's select the information, put it in copy mode, go back to our Word document. This time we're going to copy and link. Okay, so we're pasting. This time we're going to link. Notice here, link and keep source formatting, or link and use destination. I don't know that anyone's any better than the other. Let's use the destination styles. Keep it like that. Now, when it comes in, notice you're losing a little bit of what's going on with the formatting. So you may have to come in here, widen your columns a little bit so all the numbers stay on one line. So you may have to do some changes there. Okay, it's not as nice and neat as we see there. You can tell that it's linked because of the grayed areas. Okay, now let me go ahead and show you something as far as the advantage of having this linked. Let's go back to the Excel file. I'm going to press escape to get rid of the floating marquees. We're in second quarter. I'm going to change this to 100,000. Remember that was 98. When we go back to Word, notice it's still changed there, but if we right click on this, choose update link, it'll automatically update to whatever we have in Excel, and it keeps that updated, which is kind of cool. Okay, I want to show you another method. This comes in as a table in Word, but if we want it to come in as an object that looks very similar to what we had previously, we can do that and make it look a little bit neater, and it can still be linked. So let's try that. I'm going to, if we can get that all on one page, I'm going to press Control Enter so we start a new page. This is copy and embed, but it'll link it as well. So let's go back to Excel. I'm going to go back to quarter 1. We're going to go through the same steps that we did in the first process of copying and pasting, but I want to show you the difference here. We're again going to select that area, put it in copy mode, go back to our Word document. This time we're going to copy and embed /link because we want it linked as well. Okay, so this time we're going to select paste. And we want linked, but both of these, it's coming in as a table. I want us to go into paste special for just a second. When you do that, we can pull it in as an object, just like it was the first time that we copied it, rather than a table, and then we're going to link it. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. Now, this looks very similar to what we saw in the first one, kind of a little bit more neat and tidy. And now, I'm going to go back to Excel, press Escape. We're going to make a change to, we're still in first quarter, make a change to that to 100,000. Okay, so we've made the change in Excel. When we go back to Word, the first area is 122,000. That was our original number. If we right click on it, there is no option, I know you can't see that, there is no option to update link because we didn't link this one. But down on the second page, where I did go through the steps of paste specialing and linking, if I right click, there's an option to update link. And I'll click on that. Notice it changes it here to 100,000 to match what's in Excel. But again, notice at the top, since we didn't link it, that keeps the original amount. Okay, and there's not a right or wrong way of copying and pasting. You can copy, like I said before, and paste, keeping it totally separate from Excel. So if the user in Excel makes a change, this stays static. The other option, though, is to copy and link, linking it as a table or linking it as an object, and then when the user in Excel makes a change, it'll automatically, not automatically, but you have to come in, right click and update, and it'll change it to match what's in the Excel workbook. Okay, so you may want to practice that a little bit on your own as well. That concludes Chapter 5. Make sure that you read through the chapter summary. The concepts checked are on pages 188 and 189. And then, as always, go through the assessments, practicing these features, becoming more and more familiar with what you've learned in Chapter 5. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to email me or call me.